DaMario Jeffery.
Ooh, that's why I tell you I'm nervous. Any questions before I make my decision?
Man, why do you have a name tag on that has your name on it? I think we all know who you are.
I think this might hold the key to my decision.
We got the other name on.
So, I guess let's get to it.
He's exposing you to South Carolina.
All right, DaMario. Like my best friend Chris said, I'm a Gamecock for life, baby.
He just said I'm a Gamecock for life, baby. Why South Carolina?
Well, my academic coach always told me that when I walk into the campus that I choose to attend, I would know it. So I guess when I stepped on Carolina campus one day, I just knew that was the school I wanted to be at. And there's a lot of things they're pushing for. I want to be a part of those things, like the academic facility and the new training facility, the recruiting classes they brought in. I like everything they're doing.
How much influence was Mike Davis? Obviously, he went here. Went to school here a couple of years ago. You talked to Mike Davis at all?
I talk to Mike every once in a while. He just basically tells me how the life is at USC.
Do you feel better now that you've announced your decision? Suddenly not nervous?
Yeah, a lot of pressure is off me right now. I can get on with my life.
What position do you think you play, and what kind of impact do you think you make?
I want to start out at safety. I want to give me a fair shot at safety, but I feel like I can't play safety. I'll play linebacker for him. I'm going to try to help the team my best way I can.
How big of a factor was Ellis Johnson in your decision, the new defensive coordinator, as far as him explaining the new defense you'll be a part of?
It was a big decision because every college I went to, I asked them what kind of defense they would be running and how would they play their defense. And I was paying attention to how he plays linebackers, especially because I have potential to play linebacker. So he was telling me how he uses smaller linebackers to cover up slot receivers and tight ends. And I took a lot of notice of that, so I like that.
You said your final three were Alabama, Auburn, and South Carolina. How close was it? And how we go right down to the wire here?
Yeah, we went down to the wire with Alabama.
Yeah.
Because Nick Saban's a great head coach. He's also a DB coach. So I had to look beside him being a DB coach because I might not play DB. So I had to get all that past my head. So.
You plan on recruiting other guys to come along and play with you at South Carolina?
Yes, sir.
Anyone in particular you're talking to right now?
Say again?
Anyone in particular you're talking to right now?
Other recruits?
Stephon
Other recruits?
Gilmore.
All right.
So, Mom, you happy he's going to be playing?
I would like to thank all my recruiters that did a great job recruiting me. I have wonderful offers from all my schools. I definitely want to give a shout out to Coach Reeves. He did an excellent job recruiting me and keeping me home because my first decision was to go off as far as possible, but he kept me here.
Talked to Coach Spurrier yet?
I talked to Coach Spurrier yesterday, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, it was
Is that
yesterday.
what you told him?
Yes, sir, I told him.
Mario, you talked a lot about going out of state initially in your recruiting process. You know, now you just said, you're giving kudos to Coach Reeves there. What was the difference that made that change in how you were looking at it?
It was based on who was telling me the truth. You can look through some people and tell who's lying to you, who's telling the truth. And a lot of out-of-state schools was basically telling me, I can do this, I can do that. Once I look at the linebackers and things like that, or the safeties, I see that they're normally smaller than what they respect. I looked through all that, and I was talking to Coach Reed, and he was basically telling me I have a chance to play linebacker and all. So I like that overall. He was telling me the truth the whole time.
You were committed to Clemson for about a day. Take us through that process. And take us through how that went for you and sort of the dynamics between the two in-state schools.
Clemson's a great school, but it just wasn't the school I wanted to go to. I got overwhelmed when me and Chris committed there, and we were on the whole way back home. We was happy we committed there, but in the back of our mind we were thinking maybe this isn't the place for us. And then we just sit down and we were just thinking. For me, it was more of I see the potential of getting a Georgia offer, so I better decommit, so maybe that could happen. And then I didn't get the offer, so I just apologize to all the fans for committing and things like that. I apologize to the recruiter at Clemson.
Now, you mentioned Georgia. What exactly did they tell you as far as getting an offer from those guys? I mean, you visited down there and you didn't get that offer. I mean, tell me kind of what their coaches told you about their opinion of you as a player.
Georgia didn't know too much about me. They just knew the name and they knew the rank. And they knew I was a tremendous player, but they didn't know what position I would play for them. They didn't know whether I'd be a linebacker or a safety, so they told me I had to come to one of their camps, which I was unfortunate I couldn't make it to the camps to see what I can play, whether they would offer me or not.
Coach Bird had mentioned this week that there's some Clemson websites was sending out negative articles about you out to recruits. Did you receive any packages from anonymous people with negative articles about USC in them?
No, sir. I'm a big Rivals guy and the Big Spur and things like that. I read a couple of things where Clemson fans were saying I wasn't a great player, so that's how it is.
Hey, when you talked to Coach Saban and told him you weren't coming to Alabama, did you talk to Coach Saban or did you talk to your recruiter?
I didn't talk to anyone. My coach handled all that for me.
Okay, good deal.
So what number you gonna wear for Carolina? Yeah.
The question is, what number you gonna wear?
It won't be 25.
Maybe I'll weigh 25. I want to keep that tradition alive. I might carry on the Mike Davis Clem High legacy.
They might retire 25 after this.
Mario, a lot of people have been waiting for you to make this announcement. And the word, if you look at the Big Spur and some of these different sites, everybody says that you coming on board because Chris has been there and he's been working this thing hard. And now that you're on and you guys are kind of together, and obviously you'd mentioned going after Stephon Gilmore and some of these guys, but do you feel like that you coming on board is going to really kind of kickstart this recruitment? And how do you feel about the class that will be put together as a result of you making this decision today?
I feel like a couple big-time players were just waiting on somebody like me. Not just me, probably Stephon or anybody else to commit. But I guess they were just waiting to see who all was going to come like me. I was trying to wait and see could another big-time prospect come, because I want to come in with a great class. So I guess maybe the guys I'm talking to, they might come in. I might boost off the class. It might be a great class for Carolina.
Chris was very respectful publicly of your feelings, and I'm talking about you a lot in his diary on Scout.com. But you know he's working. How much influence did your best friend have on you in this decision?
It was about 25%. He had a little bit to do with it. He was always in my ear. You need to come to Carolina with me, things like that. He didn't press me to come to Carolina with me. He was like, always make the best decision for me. But I'm going to enjoy playing with Chris another 4 or 5 years.
When did you actually make your commitment?
I made my commitment, but to myself it was a while back, but to Carolina it was at the camp, the showcase.
You going to practice tonight?
Yes, sir.
Was your decision to time your announcement tonight, knowing that tonight is the first night of Carolina's fall practice, did that having a decision, part of the decision when to make it?
No, sir. I basically put it into my coach hand to set all this up, because I couldn't set all this up. So I basically told him to get all this set up for me, and I'll make the decision.
Are you pretty much shutting down your recruiting now? You're going to take any other visits to any other school? You're going to make a trip to Alabama or Auburn, any other school you've been considering, or are you pretty much just shutting it down right now?
I don't know yet. I'll see.
All right,
Thank you.
no more questions. Thank you very much.